In case you missed it, Chevrolet has finally revealed the all-new Corvette Z06, and it sounds fantastic. I mean, neighbors 2 blocks away agree. The Chevrolet Corvette Z06's cold startup screams good morning, America. For months and months, we've been teased with the new sports car, and it felt like we'd never get to see the reveal. In fact, it almost seemed like Chevrolet was intentionally delaying the car. But now that it's here, our first impression is that it has been worth waiting for. Is that accurate though? Is the Z06 really that much of a step up from a regular Stingray? Or are we just admiring it through rose-tinted glasses? Let's take a look at what we're being offered and make a decision. Well, some of the quirks in this powerful beast aren't just random accidents. They were on purpose. General Motors wanted this car to be both accessible and capable of fitting your golf clubs. In other words, I hope you can stand floppy seats and funny glue smells. Oh, and don't be surprised if the back end is a bit, well, generous. No need to fret because Chevy isn't dialing down the madness for the 2024 Z06. They've even spiced things up with some new colors: Riptide Blue Metallic, Cacti Green, and the optional Sea Wolf Gray Tricoat. Now, about that six-figure starting price for the Corvette Z06, it may sound steep, but in the world of high-performance cars, it's actually a bargain. You're saving a couple of $100,000 compared to those European supercars with similar features. It's a super steal for super speed. The new Corvette Z06 is bringing some serious style and performance to the table. It's not holding back, with unique and aggressive fascias at both the front and rear, a first for the Z06 model. Up front, the new fascia directs air right at the center heat exchanger, 1 of 5 on this beast. And there's a standard adjustable wicker bill spoiler, with a high wing available as an option for those who want to take it to the next level. Now, let's talk about options. You'll have a whopping 7-wheel package to choose from, ranging from 20 inches up front to 21 inches at the rear, with 5 different finishes, including forged aluminum and carbon fiber. Talk about customizability. Naturally, you can't go all out on the exterior and totally ignore the cabin. So Chevy has decked out the Z06 with 2 carbon fiber interior trim packages and even a stealth aluminum option. While details are still a bit mysterious, press images suggest we can expect double stitching, plenty of Alcantara, and the possibility of a carbon fiber steering wheel. But here's the real kicker. The driver cluster features a rev counter that goes red at a thrilling 8,600 rounds per minute. With 7 interior colors, 3 seat choices, and 6 seatbelt options. Simply put, there will be something for everyone. In the heart of the Corvette's dashboard, you'll find an 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system, like a cherry on top of this high-speed cake. It's not just any screen. It's loaded with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and even a Wi-Fi hotspot for all your connectivity needs. But here's where it gets groovy. You've got 2 options for the tunes. There's a standard 10-speaker Bose stereo, or if you're a true audiophile, you can go for the optional 14-speaker setup and surround yourself with sound. Now, if you're hitting the track or just want to relive your countryside adventures, the Z06 has your back with its Performance Data Recorder, PDR. You can capture videos of all your driving escapades, from those white-knuckle track runs to leisurely country road cruises. And for those moments when you have to entrust your Z06 to a valet, don't worry, there's a setting that keeps an eye on any sneaky business they might try. As hoped for, the Z06 gets a 5.5-liter naturally aspirated flat-plane crank V8, the most powerful of its kind ever. They named it the LT6, and it cranks out a jaw-dropping 670 horsepower at a screaming 8,400 rounds per minute, with the red line at a crazy 8,600 rounds per minute. There's also a hefty 460 pound-foot of torque available at 6,300 rounds per minute. And remember that 8-speed dual-clutch transmission you get with the standard Vette? It's here too, but with a shorter final drive ratio for lightning-fast acceleration. Now, the power goes straight to the rear axle, but that's a good thing because this baby can rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.6 seconds. Thanks to launch control, grippy tires, and some magnetic ride suspension magic, all combined with that mid-engine balance near the rear axle. We don't know the top speed yet, but it's probably close to 200 miles per hour. Why, you ask? Well, the Z06 can generate a whopping 734 pounds of downforce at 186 miles per hour, especially with that high-mount rear wing and front dive planes. And if you're a fan of stopping as much as speeding, they've upped the braking game with new 6-piston calipers from Brembo at each corner. And if you want to go all in, there's the Z7 package with carbon wheels and carbon ceramic brakes. The car comes standard with 20-inch front and 21-inch rear forged aluminum wheels, but a set of lighter and stronger carbon fiber rollers are optional. And let's not forget about the sound. Chevy didn't just blast noise through speakers, they installed reverse megaphones in the exhaust to make the Z06 sound like a symphony of power right in the cabin. As you take a gander at what seems like a regular Corvette with a few carbon fiber doohickeys sprinkled about, the real surprise comes when you press that starter button. The engine awakens with a thunderous roar, enough to make your heart skip a beat. And all of a sudden, you find yourself pondering, is this really a Chevy? But it's belting out a soundtrack that's more akin to a Ferrari, sending shivers down your spine through the steering wheel, and pedals as the revs keep on climbing and climbing like Italy's entire sports car. Heritage decided to scale El Capitan without ropes. Here's the scoop on what makes the Z06 tick. It's got 6 scavenging pumps that work like oil-gobbling superheroes, ensuring the engine doesn't miss a beat, even when pulling a whopping 1.16 G of sideways acceleration. The engine's got some lightweight upgrades too, like forged aluminum pistons that are 8% lighter than the old Z06's V8 and titanium connecting rods that shed 21% of their weight. All this lightening up means the engine can spin up to that incredible 8,600 rounds per minute redline faster than any other Corvette before. Now, here's where it gets really cool, the flat plane crankshaft. It's like a musical conductor, arranging the engine's moves with the rods spaced at 180 degrees instead of the usual 90 degrees. You don't just feel this change, you hear it too thanks to the new firing order, creating a sensational soundtrack. And there's a new center exit exhaust system that takes a shortcut to the vet's tail. It's not just about being efficient, it's about the sound. This exhaust has 21% less back pressure than the old Z06, and it's got parabolic reflector tips that bounce some of that V8 thunder right back into the cabin. Well, when it comes to the Z06, it's all praise. No buts, or it's good for the price needed to keep things in balance. The Z06 isn't leaning on the crutch of value like its predecessors. While it's objectively more affordable than a space shuttle or the likes of the McLaren 765 LT or Lamborghini Huracan, which are top-notch mid-engine supercars in the 600 horsepower club, that's not why it's a winner. But since we're talking about it being the of the year, let's dive into some numbers. The Z06 Coupe kicks off at $110,290, and that includes the guzzler penalty. There are 3 specification levels, 1LZ, 2LZ, and 3LZ, and the top spec convertible goes for $125,850. Now, there's talk of the Z06 making its way to Europe, even to the UK in right-hand drive. While the details are still up in the air, don't dismiss this one lightly. Noise regulations might pose a challenge. Those center exit exhausts might need some tweaking, but overall, it's a forward-looking, well-rounded, capable, and thrilling supercar. As we wrap up this exhilarating journey through the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, I have one burning question for you. If you could take the Corvette Z06 for a cross-country road trip, where would you go and who would you take along for the ride? Otherwise, keep your engines running for more exciting content by subscribing, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.